is
City News.
And our next story, almost a fifth of students in schools in England are persistently absent, meaning they miss over 10% of the school year. This is according to new government data released last week. Children with special educational needs and disabilities, known as SEND, are twice as likely to be impacted. Aurore Sharon finds out why.
There is an assumption that it's laziness or bad behaviour.
Children's absences in schools have lowered but have not come back to pre-pandemic levels. London is doing better than all other regions, but not all children are affected in the same way. Education Policy Institute expert Emily Hunt explains.
So about a fifth of pupils are persistently absent. Some groups of pupils are overrepresented, so you're much more likely to be persistently absent if, for example, you're a disadvantaged pupil who's eligible for free school meals, if you have additional educational needs.
So why is student attendance so important? The assistant head for inclusion of a London school has some answers.
If they've already got an SEN diagnosis, the gaps between them and their peers will grow even bigger. So the more they're in school, the more interventions and support we can put in place for them. It all comes down to supporting the family at home. We can only do so much as a school. We can't go into the homes. If social care was more involved or had the ability to be more involved from the start, a lot of the attendance issues, I think, would be reduced.
To reduce absences, the school system needs to adapt to these children. For 23-year-old Katie Brown, not being diagnosed with dyspraxia meant she attended school but had to provide extra effort to keep up.
I remember specifically in primary school was when I felt kind of alienated a lot because there was a lot of teaching that wasn't designed for me.
The picture isn't all grim. Sonibu, former SEN teaching assistant, believes that staggered entry into the school system can be the key.
One trusted teacher or like a support staff is their touch base when they come back into school, so they'll just be interacting with this one teacher.
The Children's Commissioner Dame Rachel de Souza says she wants to do much more in the following statement. I am determined to use my role to make the right to education a reality for all children. We must go further to ensure that our school system lives up to this principle.
Great. Now we are joined by Aurore in the studio to give us a bit more information. Aurore, thank you for joining us. So maybe you can tell us, is this a problem specific to London, or is this a nationwide issue that we're seeing?
Definitely not. This is something nationwide. London actually has the lowest absence rate within the country, with the North East being the most touched. And within London, we're seeing some differences. So, for instance, Islington is the one which has the highest rate of absences.
No, that's really interesting. And one of the experts who you spoke to in the clip there talks about the role of social care. And maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you think can be done to encourage SEND children to go back to school?
Yes, so what seems to come through is that we need a response that goes beyond education. So looking at how to solve issues within social care and within the NHS, for instance, would mean having a shorter wait list for children with SEND, more diagnosis and more support medically, as well as in their homes that could prevent them missing school.
Right, so this sounds like something that requires obviously a great deal of government intervention. And on that, what is our current government's stance on this issue?
So the Labour government has actually said that SEND is one of their priorities and that they want to reform it. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson said that she's urging the people for patience as the reform haven't been taken right now. So we're just going to have to wait to see if that's actually going to come forward, and to wait for the budget at the end of the month to see if funding is going to be given to education, the NHS and social services.
Great. Thanks so much, Aurore.